The sanctuary of the Roman imperial cult in Pessinus. The ancient city of Pessinus was situated in the middle of the Anatolian plateau, in a region the Romans called Galatia, about 150 kilometers southwest of Ankara, modern-day Ankara in central Turkey. A major part of the city is situated below the agricultural village of Sivrihisar. It lies in the valley of the Galos, a small tributary of the sacred Sangarios River, now known as Sakarya. Since ancient times, this seasonal river has functioned as the main thoroughfare of the site. According to literary tradition, the name of Pessinus is linked to the Anatolian mother goddess Kebele, her cult and main sanctuary. From Pessinus, the cult of the goddess spread over the Greek and Roman worlds. From the 17th century to the early 19th century, Western travelers searched in vain for the ruins of the city. In 1834, the French explorer Charles Texier correctly situated the site in the village of Sivrihisar. His brief visit yielded a first general plan of partly observed and partly imaginatively interpreted ancient buildings. Little occurred in the 20th century in or around the ruined city, until 1966, when Professor Peter Lambrechts from Kent University first visited the site. He decided to start large-scale excavations in the center of the ancient city, hoping to find the famous Phrygian sanctuary dedicated to Kebele, mentioned by Strabo and Livy. To this day, the sanctuary has yet to be discovered. However, the excavation team did find an important early Roman cult complex and a unique canalization system with porticos. The remnants of a Greek-style temple dominate a hill, facing the east bank of the Galos River. A peculiarly shaped stairway along its axis served as a theatre. An inscription from the Temple of Augustus and Roma in Ankara provides useful hints suggesting that this complex may have been a Sebasteion, a sanctuary dedicated to the cult of the Roman emperor. For nearly 2 decades, the sanctuary sector and other structures have been intensively studied by Ghent University under the directorship of Professor John de Vreeke. The Roman sanctuary of Pessinus, adjacent to the monumentalized Galos River, was seamlessly incorporated into the urban framework. A marble portico embellished the riverbed to the west of the sanctuary. The monumental stairway theatre connected the temple with the lower grounds in front of the massive sanctuary terrace walls. Initially, the theatre consisted entirely of marble steps and seats, most of which have been dismantled, revealing solid limestone foundations. Only a few marble steps have been preserved. The orchestra, or stage area in front of the steps, was used not only for religious ceremonies, but also for gladiator fights. Gladiator spectacles were very popular in the western part of the empire, but in the Roman East, they were exclusively intended for the imperial cult. In traditional Greek theatres, the lower seats reached onto the stage level. In Pessinus, the seats were on a higher level in order to prevent spectators from getting injured during gladiatorial combat. The original base of the protective marble railing still remains on the north side of the theatre. The stairway theatre in Pessinus is unique in the ancient world. It combines the functionality of a stairway with the optimal visibility needed for a theatre. The slightly sloped hillside was shaped into an artificial large rectangular terrace. On this terrace, once enclosed on three sides by a sacred wall called Temenos, the temple dominated the hilltop above the valley. An analysis of pottery and architectural ornaments has revealed that the building was started and completed under the reign of the second Roman Emperor Tiberius during the first decades of the Common Era. When the temple was discovered, its superstructure was already dismantled. However, some impressive limestone foundations still remain. They're visible as three rectangles set within each other. The inner rectangle served as the foundation of the pronaos, or porch, and the cella, the innermost chamber of the temple that housed the statue of the emperor. The second rectangle consists of pillars that supported the marble columns of the superstructure. The outer rectangle served as the base of the stepped podium, or krepis. The originally planned porch was quite large in comparison with the cella, probably to achieve an impressive sense of space, as was usual in early or mid-Hellenistic temples. However, during initial construction, the porch was shortened and the cult chamber enlarged. This change was most likely the result of shorter porches becoming more fashionable from the early imperial period onwards. Many elements of the temple's superstructure were found scattered around its foundations, or reused in more recent buildings. The coarse-grained white marble came from the quarries in nearby Istiklal Bar. Despite its ruined state, the cult building can be reconstructed as a Greek-style temple on a podium surrounded by a colonnade of Corinthian columns. The hexastyle front of the temple is probably depicted on early imperial coins, as well as on later coins struck in Pessinus. The entablature of the building is elaborately sculpted in a typical conservative Augustan fashion with motifs of Eros figures with garlands, flowers, acanthus leaves, stars, and various conventional decorative patterns. In the pronaos, in front of the inner cult chamber, two Corinthian columns were placed between two piers that thickened the pronaos walls at their extremities. Such piers are known as antae. Bases, column drums and capitals have been recovered in sufficient quantity to allow at least partial reconstruction of these columns and antae. A monumental entrance provided access to the cult chamber, with its distinctive type of ornamented cornice. During the reign of Augustus, Pessinus became part of the Roman province of Galatia. It was quickly transformed from a temple state governed by the high priests of Cybele into a polis-type city based on Greek institutions. The introduction of the imperial cult can be seen as a consequence of these political changes. The Sebasteion of Pessinus is unique in Asia Minor for its combination of a temple and a theatre along a shared axis. probably inspired by examples in central Italy and Rome. The commanding location of this temple and the artistic quality of its marble sculpture bear witness to the importance of the Roman emperor and his cult in early Roman Anatolian cities.